Hello, selectors, and welcome back to the Life Burst Podcast. I'm Andrew, and today we're going to be doing a little something different. We're going to be doing a little story reading of the story of Wixoss. So they're putting out these web stories right now about what's happening while these Elrigs are coming to this new Wixoss land, and sort of the story that's evolving with it. And I thought, as they come out, now that the lore videos are caught up, we're going to go ahead and do some reading of this stuff. I'll put some pictures and stuff of sort of the sets that they're talking about as it goes up while I'm reading, and also, this is just going to be kind of like a read with me thing, so I'm not going to highly edit this at all. I'm just going to go ahead and read what's on the page. I might make a mistake or two here and there, so, forgive me, but this is just sort of like a read with me video. Anyways, to get started, the first chapter is Episode 1, Visiting a Shining and Unknown World. Also, before we go on, it's pretty cool that the Wixoss story is coming out in text form. You guys can check this out on the Wixoss page itself. And I just want to give a shout out to, I hope this keeps going. I was planning on reading this anyways, but then the Google Translate thing was a little weird, so I didn't exactly want to do it, but since they translated themselves, this makes it much easier. So I hope to read out the story. Hopefully you guys can follow along. Alright, first episode, Visiting a Shining and Unknown World. What? The right to challenge DXM to battle? Hirana's voice echoed through the cafeteria of Wixoss land. Hey, Hirana, you're talking too loud. The eyes all around you are... Oh, sorry. Hirana sat back in her chair after being told off by Akino, but her excitement had not abated. The announcement of the upcoming premium event, publicized just the other day, stated that the winning team would be given the right to battle DXM. For Diva, who admired these girls and want to catch up with and surpass them, this is a huge reward they were never expecting. Again, just a reminder, DXM is A tier, I think, in Wixoss, and pretty much all of our guys are chilling at C tier right now. I think maybe if they got to season 2, they'd be B tier. This is actually a pretty big jump, yeah. Anyways, the hand holding the plastic cup filled with orange juice, as she ordered earlier, was shaking with an uncontrollable force. I like the idea that, Hirana's just drinking orange juice. That's it. That's what she does to chill, is just drink orange juice. This is a great opportunity, isn't it? It's true, it's an opponent we don't get to fight very often, and I'd love to get my revenge. If they were competing in a normal ranked tournament, they would not know when they would be able to fight again. Rei looks happy to be able to challenge her here. For the 3 members of No Limit who faced DXM in the past and were unable to beat them, this event holds a unique opportunity for them to fulfill their dreams. So this is cool. That's confirmation, right? That at the end of the Diva anime, we don't actually see if they won or not. It's kind of suspected that they didn't win, but at least they put up a good fight. And this confirms that. They definitely didn't win. They're trying to get their revenge now. Grudge match and all. However, this is a special event and it differs from ranked tournaments. This means, of course, that team members are basically free. It is up to the participants themselves to decide which diva they'll team up with. And if we're going to take revenge on DXM, it's no good if the 3 of us don't compete together. Of course, I'd love to be with Hirana and Rei. As far as Hirana, she wanted to participate with No Limit. The same was true for Akino and Rei. Oh, the 3 of you are going to be attending to the event together as usual? Musica! Hirana turned and saw the 3 members of Diagram. We're having trouble with that right now. As Rei tried to explain, Musica continued. I think it's a good option to always work with the same members, but I also think it's a good idea to work with different divas for more experience. You mean I should team up with other divas, other than Akino and Rei? Yes, you'll further develop your individual strengths, but you'll be able to show them how you've improved in the original ranked tournament. If you can raise your own rank to a respectable level, then you should be able to take DXM on fairly and squarely, even if it's not a regular event. Hiran and the others looked at each other in agreement with Musica's opinion. However, it was hard to believe that a battle with unfamiliar members would be that easy. Hirana, Akino, and Rei were members of the group. That's why they've been able to work so hard together. It certainly makes sense. It's the way it's supposed to be, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to fight with a different group of people than usual. It's okay, Madoka replied to Rei's words. Rei has always been strong, but even with the current team, you have to become stronger. You can't fight in any situation. Of course, so the other two, Madoka and Senga, I think I think there are many things we can learn from other divas and experiences that we can gain from doing various battles. Each one of those things will add even more to our strength. That's what I mean. That's why we've decided to form separate teams this time. It's up to you what you decide to do. To take another step forward as their activities as no limit, it may be a good opportunity for them to compete in the event with different members. With the advice from Diagram, the three felt they could now see a path of what they should do this time. Yeah, we'll think about it. Give it some more time to think about it. There's a possibility that they could find something they haven't found yet, and in this way, they might be able to grow even more. Alright, I'm getting more and more motivated. Hirana, who was drinking the juice in her hand, was getting fired up in fighting spirit. Musica smiled with her positive attitude, but cautiously switched the subject. Okay, so for anyone who's not following along necessarily, because sometimes this English is a little broken, it seems like they've decided, hey, we're going to go ahead and try out this special event, which you can go against DXM if you win the right to fight them at the end of this, but you can play in any different dream teams, split up your teams the normal and find some kind of new strategy to work with other people, and then you can potentially bring those strategies back to your original team and really work on it, which surprisingly is pretty accurate. Like, what I found is Neat's 3v3 tournament puts me on teams that I'm not normally on, and I can learn a lot from my team members that I don't normally play with. So surprisingly accurate is what I'm trying to get at. Speaking of which, just a small thing that Neat's 3v3 Discord always announces when they do new tournaments. It's a cool way to play with people you've never played with before. All right, going back to it. Hirana's drinking orange juice. That's where we left off. End. Musica is saying, I'm thinking it might be a good opportunity to get to know these unfamiliar diva who've been showing up more and more lately. It wouldn't be impossible for us to team up with them. Musica glanced at the new divas around. The new divas are different from their own and have a slightly unique atmosphere, which Hirana was also curious about. Well, actually, I tried to say hello with them as I passed them earlier, but we feel awkward, or maybe I bothered them. At that time, she was worried for a moment that they would feel scared or wary of her, but she felt it would be impossible to know what kind of attitude they would take. These girls were surprised to find Hirana so nosy. Hey, Rei! Ha ha ha! It's possible. Oh no, Akino! Yeah, everyone teaming up on Hirana. It's not new. Hirana is a loudmouth, and I'm sure people didn't want to necessarily talk to her. Music continued. Anyways, this event will be a good start. Nodding their heads in agreement with Musica, Hirana and the others were also thinking about the potential new team members. The new divas, they said Pure Luke, Yuzuki, Midoriko, Hanyo, and Tama could naturally hear the conversation even if they did not listen in particular. I guess that's what they're saying, is that Hirana is loud, is what they're trying to say there. We're still talking about what they were going to do in this world, which they were not used to. I'm sure that was us, right? Hanyo says, anxiously crossing her arms in front of her chest. I'm sure it is. Yuzuki agreed with a sigh. When that girl spoke to us earlier, we were so surprised that we panicked a little bit. Midoriko reflected back on her attitude earlier and seemed to regret it a little. Do you think they don't like us? I don't think so, but we certainly should have been more natural with them. While taking care of Tama's uneasiness, Paraluke also feels anxiety. One day, after a series of events that all come to end, they were just living a peaceful life, and then suddenly they felt as if they were wrapped in a bright light and found themselves in this Wixoss land. The neon lights decorating the city shone so brightly, and people's joyful voices filled the place, like a theme park downtown. They couldn't tell if they were in a dream or not. Looking around impatiently, They were a little relieved to see other Elrics they knew. However, they still had no idea or how or what had happened to bring them here. All they knew at this point was that Wecross is being held here as well, and those cheerful-looking girls are doing battles as divas. And Wecross is different than the rules they knew. Does that mean that this was a different world than the one that they're originally from? Yeah, still not clear in the lore if the Diva world is a separate universe or is like just a little bit later down in the future. We don't know yet. They hoped that when they went to sleep and woke up, they would be back into the world where they had been, but that hadn't come true. I think we should try to communicate with those girls called divas and learn more about them in this world and the Wecross in this world. Then we can figure out how to get back to where we were. At Paraluk's suggestion, Yuzuki and the others nodded their heads, having no real reason to oppose the idea and having no choice but to take action. They think that those girls may be somewhat like us, but they have something shining that attracts people, like idols, who give cheer to people. They feel like they're something shining. It's a shining hope that seems to find a solution to even this mysterious event. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like the the original Wecross is so dreary and dark. This is just the like, we're happy. I'm sure they're like, I don't know, these people, they don't know. They don't know what it was like back in the war, you know? Back to the story. I think it's best we ask them about this world. Besides, they don't seem to be our enemies. We could gather information from them and join up with the other Elrics who have come to this world. It would be reassuring, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would be great. We'll start by gathering information at... Is that okay with you, Tama? Yeah, I'll do my best so that I can get back to Rue as soon as possible. It's crazy. She can speak so much now. Tama has evolved. She's not just saying Bataloo. Luke and the others started to move with Tama, who was clearly the most depressed since her arrival to this world. After all, let's talk to that girl called Hirana who greeted us earlier. Meanwhile, the other Elrig that was brought to this world, Urith, had no one to play with, nothing to do, and was bored. She didn't care where she was as long as she had something interesting to do, but that didn't seem to happen either. She knew that the other Elrigs were here too, but they were all somewhat nervous and cautious, and she had a feeling that if she tried to stir things up without any interesting topics, then she would just come up empty-handed. At that time, someone named Diva, who was an original resident of this place, found an announcement of the event to compete in Wecross. I was wondering if this event was going to be fun. The Divas are all happily competing in Wecross in this glittering world, and they're giving it their all. Their straight and beautiful ones with sparkling bright faces became sorrowful by losing a game, turning ugly, and stopped dreaming because their hope has been cut off. She could see if this Wecross land was filled with such diva, it would seem like more fun than just spending time here. The thought made Ura's body tingle deep inside with excitement. Hee hee hee, just what I need to kill some time. She smiled evilly and plotted to beat the divas in battle herself. That would be so much fun. A cheerful voice emitted from the shadows, approaching from behind. What? Oh my, I spoke out loud. I'm sorry. My name's Nanashi, Miss Urith, and I've heard your story. I'd be happy to join you in your spare time. Urith responded to the unsolicited offer with an unpleasant look on her face, indicating she was no longer excited about it. Join me? I don't want to work with somebody else. Even if she clearly didn't like her, Nanashi was unfazed and didn't care. But Miss Urith, in this world of Wecross, you need to be on a 3-person team so you're fighting directly against your own interest. Here I am, taking a sip of water. Good. Alright, team of 3. The style of battles here was somewhat different than what she used to do. In other words, it seemed that only a team of 3 could participate in this event. The fact that she has to be partnered with someone else is unexpected of her, but she doesn't want to miss out on this exciting way to kill some time. What's your purpose with teaming up with me? My purpose? Well, I guess so. Nanashi thinks for a moment, and then pauses for another moment. Wouldn't it be boring to live in a world where order is kept? She replied with a smile. It seems Nanashi is similar type to Urith. Uh, they were not so interested in cooperating with each other, but happy to have fun on their own. So Urith agreed to team up with them. But we need one more person, don't we? Do you have any idea? I guess so. Urith and Nanashi were not really the type to work with other Elrigs, but there was no one that could be brought into the team right away. The person who appeared right before them, as if she's been waiting for them, is Remember. If I remember correctly, Remember isn't actually that great at fortune telling. She just happens to kind of wait for the right moment and then say the right thing like she is a fortune teller. So she probably was just waiting for a moment to actually be like, I've appeared, which is kind of funny. The fortune says it's good luck to have me as a team member on your team. When Remember woke up in this world, she was aware that Luke was nearby. However, oh yeah, they've got bad blood between each other, if you guys don't know that. Luke, I think she was her bully. However, she could not ask Luke and her friends to join her. However, it was a strange world where it would be too uncomfortable for her to act alone. She was looking for the right moment to approach Urith and Nanashi with the idea that she would feel safer if she was near the strong ones. If they had to gather 3 people anyways, it didn't matter to Urith who the members were. As long as you don't bother me, I don't care. And so the team of Urith, Nanashi, and Remember, each with their own expectations, began to move forward. It's getting a little tedious to get ready to enter the event in so many ways. Urith sighed while letting Remember build her deck. They have to choose the cards they will use, not the selectors they were teamed up with. There were various rules and theories, but they'd have to think about the strategy well in order to win. There's a lot of cards they didn't know before. In addition, there are many other things that are still needing to be done, such as the entry procedures and determining the team names. Urith was going to assign them to 2 people and proceed, but she couldn't find Nanashi. Do you know where she went? For the past few days after teaming up, Nanashi has been showing up and disappearing suddenly, acting too freely and completely unpredictable. Remember stopped picking out cards and went back in her memory. I haven't seen her yet today, but I don't know where she is at all. Oh, I remembered she was trying to enter the event yesterday under the name of No Name. She looks like she ended up stopping after all. What? Well, it's good that she was trying to proceed with the entry, but she was surprised and unexpected by the fact that Nanashi was trying to register their team as No Name, based on her motif. Urith was stunned by this. No Name was her nickname. So, okay, guys. So there's going to be a Japanese word pun which don't translate into English basically at all. So bear with me for a second. Why did she stop? When she asked her for the reason, she was told that the name was similar to the initial team's name of a diva team called No Limit, which is very popular nowadays. She asked the receptionist if she could enter the team under that similar name, and she said she didn't want to be the second best to anyone, so she withdrew her application. Okay, so the joke is that the joke, to explain the joke, is that No Limit, when they first came, didn't put a name under their name, and they were No Name, which was pretty funny. Eventually they got it corrected to No Limit, but that's because Hirana's an idiot and just hit enter without actually putting in a name. So I guess it's Urith's nickname. No Name is similar to her Japanese nickname or something similar to that, and also, Nanashi didn't want to be second fiddle to it, so they withdrew their application, still trying to figure out a name. I wonder if she's more narcissistic than I thought, or maybe she likes jokes. Gags using her own name are no longer self-deprecating. But in the end, she went away saying, it's such a shame. Her actions and attentions were completely unpredictable, but if they wait and do nothing until she shows up again, she might not make it in time for the entry event. If that's the case, she had no choice but to let Remember decide on the team name. What? I'll name her team? You can name her team whatever you want. No. A name is important. It's an element that determines fate. Well, I'm not interested in that kind of thing, so I'll leave it to you anyways. You decide on our team's name, and then you can submit the entry. So basically what I'm hearing is that Urith is still doing nothing. Nanashi was supposed to do something and then didn't do it. So they're just forcing the job to Remember to do all of it. Remember didn't want to be removed from the group by Urith, so she had no choice but to do what she said. If that was the case, she was going to make the decision by fortune-telling. She took out her crystal and began to ponder. It's been a few hours since Urith started letting Remember decide on the team's name. She was immersed in her own world without doing anything else. She hadn't even finished building the deck that she was asked to do, and Urith thinks it's time to get her to work. Hey, how long are you going to keep thinking about this? Come on. Oh, wait, I'm still trying to figure out if I should use 32 letters long name that goes well with this team. 32? And pick our lucky color, which is pink. But it's not in our name. Oh, I see. When we submit the entry with such a name, it seems that we should bow in that direction before we enter so we have better luck. Stop it. What are you talking about? I'm sorry. Then at the end, I'll switch the order of the letters here so it looks like a simple word at a glance, but for the meaning, it has to be deep. Wait a little longer, please. Whether she was thinking about a team name or an arcane code, Urith couldn't understand it. She didn't care about the team name anyways. Urith looks at the cards Remember left scattered while she was still doing this fortune-telling thing. After all, the preparations for this event are finished. Oh, Miss Urith! It was Nanashi's voice. It was good timing for her to come back. Urith thought this would allow them to proceed with her preparations, but her faint hopes were dashed in an instant. You know what? This Wixoss land has a fashionable cafe, too. How can she be so optimistic? Nanashi. Oh my, what's wrong with your scary face? Your face has always been scary, hasn't it? Just kidding. Nanashi's behavior, as if she has no idea of Urith's concern, made her feel tired. Oh, did you hear about the team name? It's terrible. There were people who were already using it, wasn't there? Do you think that maybe they're just trying to annoy me? Oh no. Why is she blushing? Urith has no idea. I remember Nanashi's a bit of like a masochist or something like that, so like, yeah, anyways, there's the reason why she's blushing. Urith has no idea, but she believes that these people should not be taken seriously. Urith was convinced that she could keep her pace and stay out of Nanashi's way. And so, once again, I'm having Remember decide our team name right now. Oh, really? Urith doesn't know why she's in such a good mood, but she rushes over to Remember with a happy look on her face. Wow, you'll decide our team's name based on fortune-telling? Interesting. Oh, Nanashi, I'm having such a hard time deciding between these two names. It's okay if the two of them talk it over and come up with a good decision, but there was no way that this was going to work out. Isn't this a little plain? Is it really plain because of the 32 letters? It's more like, if we're going to cause chaos, it should be an explosion. Explosion? But according to this fortune-telling, the word that I wanted to use was... Oh, really? What about this one and this one? Connecting this one and this one. Oh, I see. It would be 40 letters, but that's also a good form for a letter of strokes. It's the same whether it's 32 or 40 letters. It doesn't matter to anyone. Urith looked up to the heavens and lets out a big sigh. I may have made a mistake selecting these team members. And that's the end of Chapter 1. So that's Chapter 1. We're starting to see people team up for this big event, and we'll see what happens to it when they release the next story. Hopefully they'll release the next story. Once they do, I'll go ahead and do a reading of it again.